Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Julie, and after 15 years walking the aisles, I have a front row seat to the chaos that is modern air travel. Maybe you're thinking, denied boarding? Isn't that just when the flight is oversold? I know all about voluntary bumping and getting a voucher. What's the big secret? Or maybe you're thinking, I always check in on time and my passport is valid. Why would I get denied boarding? Well, let me be blunt. The game has changed. What used to be a little hiccup or a minor inconvenience that a friendly gate agent could smooth over is now in 2025 an instant non negotiable denial. We are seeing a record number of passengers, good people with valid tickets being turned away. And most of the time, it's for reasons that didn't even exist 5 years ago or for strict adherence to rules that used to be loosely enforced. This video is not about scare tactics, it's about empowerment through knowledge. I'm going to walk you through the 11 most common and most surprising reasons I'm seeing travelers get the dreaded access denied stamp. And crucially, I'll tell you exactly how you can protect yourself in your trip. We are moving past the simple oversold flight and into a landscape governed by new tech, tighter policies, and zero tolerance. But first, if you're serious about mastering the skies and getting the kind of insider knowledge that only a career flight attendant can give you, you need to be subscribed. Hit that subscribe button right now. And please, I read every comment. Have you ever been denied boarding or seen someone get denied for a strange reason? Share your story below. Your input helps me shape future videos. Okay, let's make sure you never miss a flight again. 1. The Real ID Countdown. This one is a massive, looming reality, particularly in the US. The Real ID deadline is here, and a lot of domestic travelers are still not compliant. What is it? Simply put, your standard state-issued driver's license might not be enough to board a domestic flight anymore. If your state's new ID has the little star or marker on it, you're likely good. If it doesn't, you could be sailing through security and then get stopped cold at the gate when the agent checks your ID against the final boarding manifest. It's an easy check for them, and if the system says no, the answer is no. An anecdote. I watched a woman, a frequent business traveler, absolutely meltdown because her ID didn't have the required star. She said she'd flown with it a month earlier. That's the problem. Enforcement is tightening, and that grace period is over. Don't risk it. Check your ID now. 2. The facial recognition mismatch. We're seeing more and more use of facial recognition technology at check-in, bag drop, and even the final boarding gate, especially for international travel. It's supposed to be faster, but it introduces a strange new failure point. If the biometric scan doesn't match your passport photo, and I mean a definitive mismatch, just you could be flagged. This could be due to a recent drastic hairstyle change, aging, weight loss, or gain, or sometimes, believe it or not, heavy makeup that wasn't worn when the passport photo was taken. The system flags the discrepancy, and suddenly you're in a secondary verification queue. If they can't quickly confirm your identity, the clock runs out and the gate agent has to close the flight. The irony is that this high-tech convenience can become an automatic denial if your Monday face doesn't match your decade-old brightly lit passport picture. 3. The unruly passenger shadow ban. The rise in unruly passenger incidents over the last few years has led to a major crackdown. It's not just about getting arrested. It's about getting put on an internal airline-specific no-fly list. You might have had an incident months or even a year ago. Maybe you argued loudly about a bag fee, were aggressive toward a crew member, or were deemed intoxicated. Airlines are now cross-referencing these lists more aggressively. You buy a ticket, you check in fine, but when you scan your boarding pass, a flag pops up because you are now an internal liability. The agent simply says, I'm sorry, we are unable to transport you today, and there is no debate. A personal note: this is a serious issue for crew safety, and airlines are taking it seriously. If you get verbally aggressive or physically confrontational with any airport or airline staff, know that you are risking being permanently banned from that carrier. It's absolutely not worth it. 4. The passport expiration cliff. Your passport needs to be valid. But do you know the 6-month rule? For many, many countries, especially in Europe and Asia, your passport must be valid for at least 6 months beyond your scheduled date of return. Here's the danger: the airline is the first line of defense. If they let you board a flight to a country that will reject your passport upon arrival, the airline gets heavily fined and has to fly you back immediately. They are not taking chances. The gate agent simply checks the date against the destination country's strict entry rules. If you're at 4 months and 3 weeks, you are denied, even if you're only staying for a weekend. Check that expiration date. Don't wait until the last minute. 5. The visa or ESTA auto revocation. International travel documentation isn't always set it and forget it. You might have an approved visa or an estate for the US that's valid for 2 years, but things can change without you realizing it. If your circumstances change, say you had a minor run in with law enforcement or an agency updates a background check, your visa or SDA can be electronically revoked by the destination country's government. You get to the gate, the airline electronically verifies your document, and the system flashes revoked. You have no recourse right there. This is especially true for US bound travelers. The systems are constantly cross checking. My advice: always recheck the status of your electronic travel authorization a week before flying, not just the night before. 6. The late for the gate myth. We all know the check in time, but more people than ever are being denied for being late to the actual boarding gate. Airlines are running tighter schedules, and turning an aircraft around faster means they have zero tolerance for stragglers. The general rule is that you must be at the gate 10 to 15 minutes before scheduled departure. But what actually happens? The gate agent needs to close the manifest, print the final load sheet, and send it to the cockpit for weight and balance calculations. If you show up 1 minute after they close that paperwork, they cannot legally let you on. Even if the plane is physically still there, they will have already marked you as a no-show, and your seat may have been given to a standby passenger. Don't dole at the airport shops. 7. The unannounced aircraft swap. This is a classic involuntary denial reason, but it's happening more frequently due to maintenance, weather, and scheduling pressure. You have a confirmed seat on a 737, but due to an operational issue, the airline substitutes a smaller aircraft that has fewer seats, maybe an Embraer jet. This is called an involuntary bump, and it's entirely within the airline's control. They must first ask for volunteers, but if they don't get enough, they start selecting passengers to deny boarding, usually based on check-in time, frequent flyer status, or fare class. The difference now is that airlines are so understaffed that this whole process is rushed and less polite than it used to be. 8. The carry-on creep penalty. The fight over luggage is fiercer than ever. If your carry-on bag is demonstrably oversized, even if you think you can cram it into the sizer and the flight is full, gate agents are under strict orders to crack down. Why? Because an oversized bag jammed in the overhead bin causes delays, uses up too much space, and leads to confrontations in the cabin. If an agent suspects your bag is too big, they will make you measure it. If it fails, you are forced to check it. If the bag drop off, time has passed, or if the cargo hold is already full, they can deny you boarding because they cannot physically take your luggage. It is now a safety and efficiency issue, not just a fee issue. Don't push the limits. 9. The booking broker blunder. A growing number of travelers are using third party online travel agencies, the OTAS, or even obscure travel websites to find ultra cheap tickets. The problem: if the OTA makes an error with your name, gender, or passport number, or if they fail to properly issue the ticket, it happens more than you think. The airline system will flag a discrepancy when it attempts to sync the booking. You show up, your reservation looks confirmed on your phone, but the airline's manifest has a glitch. If the gate agent can't fix it in seconds, and often they can't because the booking is not under their direct control, you're denied. Use reputable sites and always double check the 6 letter confirmation code directly on the airline's website. 10. The offensive attire and odor clause. This sounds like something out of a comedy, but it is in the contract of carriage for almost every airline, and it's being enforced more often in this high tension travel environment. Airlines reserve the right to deny boarding to a passenger who is deemed to be wearing offensive or indecent clothing, or who has an offensive odor that is not related to a disability or medical condition. Offensive odor is subjective, I know, but if a crew member has to sit next to you for 8 hours and you smell strongly of, say, a combination of body odor and heavy cologne, they can make the call. Similarly, clothing that displays hate speech, profanity, or is excessively revealing can get you barred. It's an easy to avoid problem. Dress comfortably, cover up, and shower. 11. The just in cases medical forms. After the pandemic, airlines are much more sensitive about visible signs of illness. While they cannot deny you boarding simply because you have a cough or a cold, they can if they suspect you have a highly contagious illness that poses a risk to others. More surprisingly, if you have a pre existing medical condition that is not stable, or you require certain in flight medical equipment, like certain oxygen tanks, many airlines now require specific medical forms signed by a doctor and approved by the airline's own medical team prior to flying. If you show up with an unapproved piece of medical gear or look visibly too unwell for flight and haven't completed the paperwork, the gate agent has the authority to deny you boarding for safety. Don't assume. Call ahead and ask about their specific policies for medical travel. So there you have it, the 11 major landmines that are leading to an unprecedented number of denied boardings in 2025. It's no longer just about the oversold flight. It's about a perfect storm of tighter ID requirements, new technology glitches, zero tolerance policies for behavior and late arrivals, and strict adherence to documentation rules. My biggest takeaway for you is this: be proactive and be early. Check your documentation status a week before you go. Verify your booking on the airline's website and be at that gate well before the cutoff time. Knowledge in this high stakes environment is your absolute best friend. I truly hope this helps you avoid a travel nightmare. If you learned something new today, please hit that like button and subscribe for more insider tips. Let me know in the comments if you think these new rules are fair or if you've been caught out by one of them. Safe travels, everyone, and may your boarding pass always scan.